This is the Poco F4 5G. Hey peeps, what's up? Manchi here, back with another video, and we have major leaks for the Poco F4 5G. Yes, Poco India, Poco Global have been hyping up this device. It is about to be launched soon, but we already know what runs in their blood. It's called a word called rebrand, which is why we have almost all the specifications of the Poco F4 5G for you. So let us go ahead and tell you first of all that the Poco F4 5G is nothing but a rebranded Redmi K40S with a different main camera sensor. If you go through the specs of the Redmi K40S, change the camera from a 48 megapixel to a 64 megapixel camera with OIS. That is the only difference between the Poco F4 5G and the Redmi K40S. Now we can go over the other specs. So in terms of your processor, you're going to get Snapdragon 870 5G support, and the RAM will be 6 GB, 8 GB, and 12 GB models with, of course, UFS 3.1 storage, and you can have 128 GB or 256 GB of storage. The combinations for the RAM and the storage we will know once the device has launched, because they might change that based on the pricing. Then, with respect to your liquid cooling, yes, they are saying that they have something called Liquid Cool 2.0, which is a 7 layered graphite thing. Now, the marketing materials which have leaked show the 7 layers to include your display and the battery cover, maybe. So, I'm not sure whether it is 7 layers of graphite, or are they including the Gorilla Glass as well in those 7 layers? Who knows? Marketing is a very difficult thing to understand for me, because it's all about lying as well. Then, with respect to your display, so you have a Super AMOLED Samsung E4 panel. They say this is the third generation, which of course is maxing out at 1080p. Now, you do have a high refresh rate, 120 Hz, with Dolby Vision, peak brightness of 1300 nits, and 360 Hz touch sampling rate. And before you ask me, hey Manchi, what about the protection for this awesome display from Samsung? You have Gorilla Glass 5. Yes, you heard it right. Gorilla Glass 5 on the front, and supposedly a plastic back. Now, I'm not saying all those things in a negative way. You do have to have some cost cutting if you are launching devices at a good price. So I think having Gorilla Glass 5 is one of the places where they are cost cutting or compromising. Then moving over to the cameras, you have a triple camera setup on the back. So you have a 64 megapixel primary sensor with OIS. OIS is a good thing, I think. Most Poco phones launched till date have not had OIS, so it is good to see them include OIS. And again, this is the only place where the Poco F4 5G differs from the Redmi K40S. Poco F4 5G has 64 megapixel OIS sensor on the back. The Redmi K40S has a 48 megapixel IMX582. The other two cameras on the back are 8 megapixel ultra wide and your favorite 2 megapixel macro, with of course dual LED flash. And on the front you have a 20 megapixel camera, and of course do not expect 4K 60 fps recording. If you do end up getting 4K 60, I think it will be because of the 64 megapixel OIS primary sensor which the Poco F4 5G has. Moving over to the battery specs, so you can expect 4500 milliamp hour battery, 67-watt charging, 0 to 50 in 11 minutes, and I think 0 to 100 in 38 or 39 minutes. And I am pretty sure Poco is going to include a charger in the box. You do not want to go the Apple way and say that, hey, we are trying to save the environment by reducing the packaging material but making our phones irreparable. Then, with respect to your software, so of course, your favorite MIUI 13 based on Android 12 on deck. And the other eeny, meeny, miny, mo things which you might be worried about are that you will have stereo speakers with Dolby Atmos or Atmos, whatever you want to call it, no 3.5 mm jack, no micro SD, and I think no infrared on this one, which might be a surprise change from the previous Poco models. Now, with respect to your colors, I think the K40S comes in green, gray, black, and maybe blue, but Poco can do their own colors as well. They are super awesome at changing the back design with some super flashy colors. I would love to see a yellow Poco F4 5G as well. Now coming over to the prices. So here on screen are the prices of the Redmi K40S in your Chinese currency, which is yuan, and I am pretty sure they are going to launch it around the 29K or 30K mark in India. If you look at the dimensions of the Redmi K40S, they are very similar to the Xiaomi Mi 11X or the Poco F3, whatever you want to call this device. And this is a pretty sleek device, pretty good in the hand. The feel here is super awesome, and it is not as bulky as the Poco X3 Pro. So in my opinion, the Poco F4 5G will be a good addition to the Poco lineup, and the pricing should be competitive enough. But again, their displays, this display had some green tint issue, and then you have the proximity sensor issue. So all those things we'll know once the device launches. And of course, I am super excited about the OIS camera. So there it is, everything you need to know about the Poco F4 5G.